Nickelodeon is about to release a brand new movie called Aang, The Last Airbender, based on the legendary animated series that has millions of fans. But do you know Aang's journey? How he became an airbending master at just 12 years old, defeated the Fire Lord at barely 13, after spending decades frozen in ice, and even married his best friend and had 3 kids. Birth. The show, which has some of the best lore in television history, actually shows us the birth of the series' protagonist through a vision Aang has while talking to the spirit of Avatar Roku, his predecessor. In the scene, we can see both our hero's father and mother, and we can tell they are air monks, just like he would become. Aang is born in the Southern Air Temple and is quickly identified as the Avatar, the reincarnation of Roku. He is raised by the monks, especially by monk Gyatso, who becomes a father figure to him. In fact, Gyatso was friends with Roku during his teenage years, which is exactly why he was chosen to help Aang develop his airbending skills. The protagonist's birth took place in the year known as 12 before the genocide, which refers to the wipeout of the air nomads orchestrated by the Fire Lord, kicking off the global-scale war that takes place in the show. Preteen years. While at the Southern Air Temple, Aang was given the mission of choosing his sky bison, something every air monk was supposed to have. So around the age of 10, he feeds Appa, and the two become lifelong companions. After that, Aang quickly learned to master airbending and had a joyful and peaceful childhood, where he achieved the title of Airbending Master incredibly early, at age 12, inventing the air scooter technique. In the meantime, during a visit to the Earth Kingdom while accompanying a group of air nomads, Aang meets and befriends Bumi, the heir to the throne of the city of Omashu. The two of them would play around by sliding down the city's delivery system. Incredibly, after Aang 99 years frozen in the iceberg, Bumi is still alive and ruling over Omashu, despite still being a bit crazy. In fact, even at over 110 years old, he's still the strongest earthbender in the city and one of the strongest in the entire Earth Kingdom. Due to the signs of an impending war from the Fire Nation, the monks reveal his avatar identity to Aang at the age of 12, instead of the traditional 16, as had been the case with all previous avatars. However, Aang was still just a kid and wanted to have fun with his friends. Overwhelmed by the responsibility and the news that he would be separated from Gyatso to train in the other 3 elements, water, earth, and fire, Aang runs away with Appa. The two get caught in a violent ocean storm, and our hero enters the avatar state out of sheer survival instinct, freezing himself and his sky bison in an iceberg. Because of this, Aang spends no less than 99 years in suspended animation, frozen solid, completely unaware of anything that happened in the world during that time. Adolescence. In the year 99 after the air nomad genocide, the iceberg is accidentally discovered by Katara and her brother Sokka from the Southern Water Tribe. By breaking the ice, Katara awakens Aang. Our hero didn't know it yet, but he had just met the most important person in his life at that very moment. Katara doesn't just become his first friend after a century, she also becomes his water-bending master, his emotional pillar, and eventually the great love of his life, with the two of them having 3 kids together in the future. But we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Aang has less than 1 year to master all the elements, something that would normally take at least 10 years. This is because when Sozin's comet approaches their world's orbit, the Fire Lord and his army of firebenders would become practically invincible, as their powers would be absurdly amplified. After less than 1 year of intense training traveling the globe through the Earth Kingdom and Water Tribes, as well as finding the air temples empty and devastated, with no other airbenders left in the world besides him, at 13 years old, which technically would be 112, if we add the 99 years he spent asleep, Aang finally faces Ozai, the Fire Lord and father of his former enemy and now ally Zuko. Following a grueling fight, after entering the Avatar state, where he's able to master all 4 elements simultaneously, Aang manages to immobilize Ozai. Instead of taking the Fire Lord's life, which would violate his pacifist air nomad principles, Aang seeks the wisdom of a lion turtle and learns energy bending. With this, he permanently takes away Ozai's firebending, sparing his bite, but incapacitating him forever. Zuko becomes the new Fire Lord, and Aang fully embraces his role as the Avatar in his world, becoming the protector of peace. Before we continue, just a quick heads up. If you also enjoy movies, series, and cartoons, click the subscribe button right now. All right. Adulthood. After the end of the nearly 100-year war, Zuko and Aang team up to bring peace to this renewed world. It's a mission that lasts between 10 and 15 years, meaning it takes place between the years 100 and 115 after the Air Nomad genocide. And one of the actions they need to take is getting Fire Nation citizens to return to their home country and leave Earth Kingdom lands. However, upon arriving in the city of Udayuth, they discover that Fire Nation and Earth Kingdom citizens have been living together for generations. They've gotten married, started families, and absolutely refuse to be separated. Aang and Zuko realize they can't force these peoples apart. Udao becomes the first region with a coalition government, changing its name to Cranefish Town, planting the seed for what would eventually become the United Republic of Nations and the future Republic City, which is the center of events in the animated series The Legend of Korra. Family. After returning from these years of hard work, Aang comes back to Katara, who is in the Southern Water Tribe lands, waiting for him. The two get married around the year 115 after the genocide. In that same year, Bumi, their firstborn, named in honor of Aang's old friend, the King of Omashu, was born as a non-bender, although later on, in The Legend of Korra, he acquires airbending during the harmonic convergence. He was basically a child version of his uncle, Sokka, Katara's brother, who also wasn't a bender of any of the elements. 2 years later, in the year 117 after the genocide, Kia is born. She is the middle child, named in honor of Katara's mother. Kia is born with the ability to waterbend, keeping her very close to her water tribe heritage. The fact that Aang and Katara's first two kids were born without the ability to airbend left the show's protagonist afraid that he might actually be the last airbender in history, since there were no other airbenders in the world besides him. I mean, that's what we thought until we saw the trailer for the new movie where the villain, believe it or not, will be an airbender named Togga who, just like Aang, also stayed frozen in an iceberg for years. But we'll save that for another video, which we'll make in the future. Hesiu, Aang's apprehension lasted 2 more years, because in the year 119 after the genocide, Tenzin is born, the youngest child and the only natural airbender. Tenzin's birth was a massive relief for Aang, as it guaranteed that the air nomad culture and bloodline wouldn't go extinct. Because of this, the Avatar dedicated a huge chunk of his time to training Tenzin, causing a bit of jealousy from his 2 older siblings. Tenzin would only find this out years later, already an adult and a father to 4 other airbenders himself, 2 girls and 2 boys, the last of which is still a newborn baby at the beginning of the Korra series. Yep. If you thought monks didn't have kids, Tenzin is right there to prove you completely wrong. 40 years old. Remember Cranefish Town, the one where Fire Nation and Earth Kingdom inhabitants had lived together for generations? Well, what started out as a mixed colony evolves into Republic City, a metropolis where benders and non-benders from all nations could live in peace. Aang, now 40 years old, biologically, around the year 128 after the genocide, acts as the diplomatic and spiritual bridge for the city. He deals with threats like the criminal bloodbender Yakone, whose bending he also takes away. In this way, Aang reaches the peak of his career as a global diplomatic leader, shaping the modern world we see in The Legend of Korra and becoming a gold standard for all tribes and nations in the Avatar world. After this incident with the criminal bloodbender, there's a 25-year gap of relative peace and maturation for society in the Avatar world. Death. Since no one lives forever, Aang would also pass away one day, making way for the next Avatar to take his place. In this case, it was Korra, who this time was born into the Water Tribe, following the logical sequence of the elements for Avatar reincarnations, originally from each element: fire, air, water, and earth. After making the world a much safer place and ending a century-long war, Aang died peacefully at 66 years of biological age, totaling 166 chronological years in the year 153 after the genocide. But if we consider characters like Bumi, the king of the Earth Kingdom city of Omashu, and Aang's childhood friend, who was over 100 years old and was still a formidable opponent, we can safely say the show's protagonist died young by his world standards. However, there's a reason for that. Although he didn't die in battle, Aang's life expectancy was drastically cut short due to the 100 years he spent frozen. Keeping himself and Appa alive by using the Avatar state uninterruptedly for a century deeply drained his vital energy, taking its toll decades later. With his death, the Avatar cycle continues, and the spirit of Ra-Ava immediately reincarnates into the Southern Water Tribe, marking the birth of Avatar Korra. Aang leaves behind a unified world, a thriving metropolis, and the future of the air nomads secured through Tenzin. We've reached the end of this video, but if you like having your mind blown, this is the right place. That's why we left 2 really good videos for you to click, watch, and best of all, stay with us.